Now, as I was boarding the flight back home in San Francisco, the waves of Japanese tsunami were just arriving to California. Today, every single person in Japan is a hero. But here I wanted to tell you about another hero, also from Japan, and this person changed a bit of e-commerce. Now, I wanted to talk to you about chicken eggs. It's a great start of any story. Now, this person, many years ago, read those wonderful things about the internet, and he read that you can sell almost everything online. And he thought he's going to start selling chicken eggs. He was a farmer in Japan. Now, everybody was telling him that, you can't really sell chicken eggs on internet. They break. Farmers are stubborn. He started selling chicken eggs anyway. He said that when they break, they are so cheap, I'm just going to send another one. Now, today, this farmer is selling 200,000 chicken eggs on internet every week. To people like us, to families, it's not about business-to-business wholesale. It's about having the morning breakfast. And of course, the reason he can do this is because of the innovation in Japanese delivery system. When you want to have the chicken eggs by 9 a.m., it's going to arrive there by 9 o'clock, not 9:30. Japanese delivery system is like Shinkansen, the bullet train, the fast train. If you order them at the time, they will arrive there at time. It's one of those categories I would have never believed is possible to sell on internet. But what I really wanted to tell you about were the books. Now, I love the bookshops. I love the sense of discovery, picking up those books I never knew existed. Some years ago, there was this person, analyst in a company, and his job was to find out what is the most difficult category, almost impossible to sell on internet, and he thought it would be the books. He thought the books would be the things that you really have to keep in your hands before you can purchase them. Today, this person is known as Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon. Now, and then you realize that today, 60% of books, it's almost 2 books out of every 3 are being sold on internet. But you know what? When Jeff Bezos was the analyst and saying that it's impossible to sell books on internet, he was right. Back then, the technology was not there. It required the innovation in technology to make it actually easier to buy books on internet than it would be in regular stores. It required the innovation. And the innovation and technology has changed the books itself. Amazon just announced they are selling more electronic virtual books than they are selling the real paper books today. Now, when I was coming here, I'm going to ask you, please raise your hands, those of you who play Farmville on Facebook. Yes, there's one. I was honestly thinking there's going to be not a single person who's courageous enough to raise their hand, but it's really important because during the 46 first days the Farmville went live, it gained almost 40 million users. Now, there's another game which launched recently, it's Cityville. During the 46 first days, it gained 100 million users. You can actually buy this cow. You can use real money to buy on Farmville those virtual cows and virtual pigs and virtual chicken. And on another game called Caféville, you can buy virtual turkey. And you have to pay real money for this. I find it's really interesting how traditional retail and the virtual are mixing. You can walk to Walmart or Tesco's in the UK and you can buy those little cards called Facebook credits for real money. You have to pay 10 or 20 US and then you can use this money to buy the virtual cows or pigs. Now, on credit cards, you know, when you spend the dollars, you earn those points, and on American Express, I can use then those points to actually get all these nifty cool gadgets like cameras and electronics. When I last logged into my American Express account, I saw that I can actually change those points to bloody virtual cows. And you know, these are expensive. I can get about 2 or 3 cows instead. 2 or 3 cows, I could get one of the cool computer bags. However, I think most of you here are not selling virtual goods, so let's see how the virtual world and the traditional retail are mixing. And if you haven't seen it yet, I really recommend checking it out, the Amazon's iPhone app. And it's rather interesting. You walk around as a customer and you have this on your iPhone and you see something that interests you and you make a photo of this. And the next moment, Amazon adds this to your wish list. It finds out the similar looking products. It shows you what's the cost of this and all the similar products. And you can, on your iPhone, you just can click to buy. And it's going to be delivered at your home the same day or the next day, depending where you live. In fact, it's going to be delivered to your home before you get to go home. However, most of your customers probably, well, looking at e-commerce, you're probably looking that most of your customers are just sitting at your computer, so how to increase sales there, how to increase sales in those categories which are rather difficult to sell online. And one of those categories are those luxury watches. You know, something which are really expensive, high-risk purchase, which almost everybody wants to try on their hand before committing to such an expensive purchase. And there was an augmented reality application by Tissot watches. Let's see how it works. I think it's really cool. You print out this piece of paper, you put this piece of paper around your hand, and then you show your hand to your webcam, and you see yourself on the computer screen wearing different watches. I think one day perhaps this young gentleman on the screen perhaps will have enough money to actually buy one of those watches. But last week when I was in San Francisco, I was going around a couple of shops, and I was doing a purchase of my own, trying to buy a new pair of glasses. And I think glasses are something that you really have to try on. It's almost impossible to sell glasses on internet. And I was going to this shop, and I found this almost perfect looking glasses, and I was asking the sales assistant to open this door for me, and I could try on the glasses, and then they were not quite right. So I saw the another pair, which was behind the other locked door, so I asked the sales assistant to open this door for me, and I tried on the other pair, and then I saw the third pair, and the assistant would open the third door. And then I was embarrassed to ask the assistant to open yet another door. I actually left this store without the purchase. And when I saw this French startup doing the virtual try-on of sunglasses, it's interesting how those things I believed would be almost impossible to sell on internet suddenly are easier to buy online than they would be in traditional stores. The same applies to women's makeup. Now, I may not know much about makeup, but I know that women need to try makeup before they commit to buy. However, about 50 to 100 women before them have tried on the same lipstick, and it gets rather ugly on the display. I love the way that it's possible to make this makeup, and you can virtually apply it on internet stores.
It is difficult to choose cosmetic products from the huge assortment that is on display at stores. It is difficult to apply and choose the appropriate shade according to each customer's personal color profile. EasyFace Virtual Mirror application presents in a very realistic manner how the cosmetic product appears applied on the customer's image. The system photographs the customer. The system analyzes the customer's photo instantly and determines precisely where and how to apply the makeup. The recommendations are based on the customer's personal color profile that was created by the system. Customers can see how cosmetic products look on their photos.
There's something else which is really close to my heart, and this is retail of fashion. And retail of fashion, this is really something which is very emotional. The people, when they go out buying another dress or a shirt, they put their soul into this. In traditional retail, you can convey all those emotions. You can have the soft music playing in the background, and you can have the smell of the new leather jacket. You can have those helpful salespeople, sometimes pushy, but they generate the sales. However, online, there's not much emotion you can convey. Net-a-Porter, a luxury fashion retailer in the UK, selling only online, has this nifty iPad application which I want to show you. And the reason I want to show you this, because imagine this, you take any of those high glossy fashion magazines, you turn the pages and the models on those pages, the catwalk models start walking towards you, they come alive, and you can click through to any of those things they wear and you can purchase them, or you can read more about those items.
Navigate by moving the pages. Use the arrow buttons on the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. You can shop from anywhere in the app, including our editorial stories. If you see something you like, just tap on the image information and product measurements. Choose your size, add the item to your wish list or to your shopping bag, and enjoy worldwide express delivery, plus same-day delivery in London and Manhattan. Tap on the contents icon at the bottom of the screen to continue navigating the magazine.
Now the reasons, the implications of this are much wider than just fashion retail. You can apply the same emotions, you can convey the same emotions in the retail of electronics or any other item. It's, well, compared to the emotions this page conveys to the customer. Over the next 12 to 24 months, we will see many more retailers opening up this new venue of e-commerce. The people in Japan, almost 40% of the purchases are made online today by mobile devices. In Europe, it's only 4%. The US-based flash sales site Hotlook just announced 20% of their sales during the weekend are made with iPhones and iPads. But let's stop for a moment and let's ask what the customers really want. And do you know how many sales are lost in brick-and-mortar stores because the size or the color was not in stock? It's 20 to 40% of the sales which are lost because the size was not in stock. Now, online, this should never happen. Online, everything should be in stock at all times unless it's really sold out and not produced any other place anymore. But online, 80% of the sales are lost because of the inability of the retailer to convey the information about the products. Now, it really shows when in traditional stores your conversion rates are about 8 to 25%. 8 to 25% of people who walk into the shop end up making a purchase. If you are a food retailer, it's 99% of the people. Online, the conversion rates are almost 10 times lower. Only 1 to 3% of the people make a purchase. And if you are a fashion retailer, then not only are you struggling to convince those customers to buy online, but then 1 in every 4 purchases will be returned. There's many reasons for those returns in fashion retail, online retail. 5 to 7% of those returns are because all those computer screens show a little different colors. And 15% of those returns are because you couldn't really touch the fabrics. But 60% of those returns because the customer simply got the wrong size. And from customer's perspective, it's really difficult. I just had a look at the person. If this person would buy a size large in a British luxury retailer, John Smedley makes this a little slimmer fitting clothes, then the same person with the same body shape and size in Timberland, they would have to buy the size small In Hawes & Curtis, a British shirt retailer which is using the virtual fitting room, they would buy the size medium. And All Saints, the person with the same body shape and size would buy the size XXL. I mean, the sizes go across the whole alphabet from small to XXL, and the customers are really troubled. In fact, 62% of those customers will not buy again. Have you looked at your own statistics and looked how many of those first-time buyers will not buy again? A US retailer, Land's End, really big one, has a saying, you really don't have a customer until this customer buys the second time. However, from the point of view of a customer, you can command this robot to take your own shape and size, and then you'll be able to see how different sizes of clothing will fit you. You can see how this size small is really tight, the buttons are popping like the Incredible Hulk, and the size large is XXL is too large. But for customers, it removes one of the main risks of online shopping. And when you take away this risk, we saw the sales go up to 3 times. And garment returns went down to between 25 to 30%. Now there's a reason why I'm saying those numbers, because another technology which I showed before, Tissot watches, sales of Tissot watches went up 85%. We all know that those technologies help to increase sales on internet. But what will happen to e-commerce? And if that was yesterday, the year 2000, only 1% of the clothing sales were done on internet. The year 2018, that's the future, 25 to 35% of the clothing sales will be done on internet. The bigger block there is the all clothing retail. Now, if I take this chart and I will turn this upside down, we can see how the sales in traditional stores will decline. In fact, the sales in traditional stores, the analysts will believe that by 2018, 1 in every 4 clothing shops will close. And if this is difficult to believe, the bookshops are closing today. And when did you last go to a travel agency? If I would be a country, I would be thinking, what are those skills that my people of the future will need? If I would be a real estate investor, I would be thinking, what's going to happen with my real estate investments? And if I would be a retailer, I'd be thinking of all those opportunities that are facing of this world of future. Now, you are the people who are going to make this future happen. But you have to think of this. If 1 in every 4 shops are to close, then 3 out of 4 shops will stay open. E-commerce is not a standalone thing. E-commerce is not e-commerce versus the traditional brick and mortar retail. It's about multi-channel. It's not online versus offline. I guess the right word to describe this would be one line. One of the UK's consultants, Martin Newman, I found him to be one of the best consultants to look not just singly the e-commerce site, but look how it impacts, how it drives the traffic to brick and mortar shops. At Fitzmay, we do collect those different technologies out there which only, though, apply to clothing retail. So if you're interested, just get in touch with me. I'll be happy to send you this little map of different technologies. Thank you.